Good morning, girls. It has been a minute since I have sat down and just spoken to you guys. I know I haven't uploaded in 2 months. I am now back. I was really going through it and I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys while I get ready. So let's chat. Before we get started, I just want to recommend this hydrating lip balm. You see, there's hairs literally everywhere, but this hydrating lip mask is just girls, honestly, I don't even know how to put it into words how much I love this lip mask. I honestly like this one more than the Laneige one. And the best part about it is that it's only $1.25. So if you see this at your local dollar store, pick her up, girl, because she is so worth it. Oh my gosh, I love her. I am not even joking. I picked up, I think about like five or six. I don't even know where my stash is, but I picked up like five or six just so I wouldn't run out because they did discontinue this last year and I just literally need it forever. Also, I am trying some new products today. I just picked this Say Glowy Super Skin Lightweight Luminous Foundation in the color number 8. I decided to try this because I do currently have this one, which is just like the tinted moisturizer, and I really really like it. And so going into the summer, I am a sweaty girl, and so I need a foundation that's a little lighter, something that I wouldn't mind like just sweating off and doesn't cake and gets nasty. So we are gonna try that out today. And I also picked up their Glowy Super Gel Lightweight Multi-Purpose Illuminator. It says multi-usage. So I'm gonna put a little bit on my foundation. Oh, it also says that you can use it as an all-over luminizer. So we're going to try that today. I have really been going through it the past couple of months, and dealing with depression and anxiety at a young age, I thought that these days were over. I truly thought that these kind of mini. Oh, this is super. Ooh. She's a little lighter than I want her to be. Should I just shake her? She's like a little watery. A little more watery than I'm used to my foundation sounding. What is that? Do you guys see that? Anyways, I guess we'll figure that out. Like I was saying, I thought that these small crises were donezo. I had my first anxiety attack when I was 17, and that really, really, really shook me to the core. I thought that I was going to, you know what I spelled out. I never forget when I arrive at the emergency room. Honestly, my heart rate has never been faster. And I get to the emergency room. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I had to call my parents. I literally was just so scared, and I could tell that like they were scared too. And then I get to the back of the ER where they're taking your vitals, and they're like, "Hey, Queen, it's an anxiety attack. You're fine." And I was like, "What is an anxiety attack? Like, what is that? Like, I've never heard of that. I've never experienced." Oh, girls, y'all made me ojo. I've never experienced an anxiety attack. Like, what is this? And so that's when she told me, "Hey, an anxiety attack is when your heart, starts beating really fast because you're thinking of something, you're going through something." And I should have known that I was watching a scary movie and that was really going to like scare me, but I did not think, I've seen plenty of scary movies when I was younger, and I don't know why it's the movie Sinister, which honestly, guys, that movie is so scary, and I literally have not watched it since I got a panic attack. And I feel like for my therapy, like in order for me to get over it, I have to just watch it all the way through and then I'll be fine. But anyways, going back to me at the ER, they're telling me that I just had an anxiety attack and that I was fine and that I just go home and relax. And so once again, I had never had an anxiety attack at all, and so I didn't know what to do. My anxiety attack just really left me feeling isolated and just feeling alone. I didn't know that like if anyone else had gone through this. Coming from a Mexican, Hispanic household, I feel like your feelings are not discussed. And so all this kind of just like bottles up into a lot more. And it gets scary. It gets scary. And so I never had gone to a therapist before that point, and I had told my mom, because I did research online, that I wanted to see a therapist. Like, I remember being so adamant and telling her, I want to see a therapist. I want to talk to someone and see how that makes me feel. And so my mom made me the appointment with a therapist. Oh. Usually do like, maybe I do like that much. And let's see where that goes. Okay. I'm just using a beauty blender. Please don't judge. My makeup brushes are so nasty. But honestly, they need a clean. Okay. I see a little glow. Yep. Requested that for my mom. I feel like she was kind of hesitant, but she still, listened to what I needed and set up an appointment with a therapist. And when I tell you that this was the worst therapist that I had ever seen, it was literally the worst therapist I probably will ever see. So this man essentially was telling me to think happy thoughts and to read happy books. And that was pretty much it. I was left so confused, so disappointed. I was like, isn't this going to be more about my mental and not just like think happy thoughts kind of rhetoric? So I was so disappointed with that meeting, and I told my mom, I was like, yeah, that did not work out, and I don't want to go to therapy ever again, because that's what I thought every therapist was going to tell me. Now I'm going to go in with my foundation. And once again, this is the color 8. It's the Glowy Super Foundation. And let's see how she blends out. I do have a beauty blender, and then I do kind of have more of these brushes, which I feel, oh my god, they're so dirty. But let's see which one like blends out better. Oh my god, I have all these hairs on my face. Alright, I'm shaking it. Let's see. Oh, just look at that. Super, super runny. So that means that we gotta act quick. I probably will blend her with one of my, more heavier foundations and kind of go for like a full coverage glowy look. Honestly, I think I color matched really well. I know with the summer I will be getting a little tanner, but nothing that some bronzer cannot fix. Cause yeah, I just hated that it was so runny. Girly girl. So with my anxiety, I went through a bad depressive episode probably for about, I would say, a couple months. I remember begging my mom to please do not drop me off at school. I do not want to go to school. I don't want to see anyone. I really wanted to just be recluse. I was so lost in my head, and I felt like I really couldn't talk to anyone about it. And I remember, obviously this was back in 2012, 2013. The internet was a thing by then, and so I remember just coming to YouTube. YouTube has always been a comfort for me, has always been a safe spot for me. I remember looking up anxiety, typing out the word anxiety, and the first person to pop up was Zoella. And I have been watching Zoella and her family with Alfie for about, oh my gosh, I mean, that was 2012, like I said. And she was the first creator that I ever saw that really spoke about mental health and what she went through. And that is why I love YouTube. And I feel like it's such an important thing to, document your life and document for others that might be going through the same thing, so you feel like you're not alone. And finding her video, reading the comments, everyone was just so happy that she shared her experience, and everyone was just like supporting each other. And that's where I just, like I said, have always been a fan of YouTube and the community on YouTube. And it was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like I am not alone in this. There's actually other people that have felt this way, that have, experienced the same symptoms that I did. And, Zoe was saying that she I was trying to, you know, go to therapy and navigate that. And obviously, she was older than me. I think she was probably like in her 20s, and I was still 17, like I said. But I was just so inspired by her, and I wanted to be better. As I'm back, Cash was barking at my back neighbor. But like I was saying about my story dealing with this, I went to being very recluse. I didn't go to school for, I think it was about a week or more. Like I said, I really blocked out that portion of my life because I was just going through it really bad. But I think it was like about a week at least. And, you know, my friends were asking about me and being like, hey, like, are you coming back to school? Like, is everything okay? I remember this was like back when, you know, writing on people's Facebook walls was like a huge thing. And I had friends reach out to me on there being like, hey, we haven't seen you at school. Like, we hope that you're good. We hope that you're fine. And I was just still like not motivated to go out or to explain what was happening to me. I remember one day I was not going out to eat with my family at all that week, and my dad really forced me out. And in a way, I'm thankful for that, but then in a way, I'm kind of like, man, like I really was going through something. I wish they would have like respected my boundary. And respecting boundaries is something that I've learned in therapy that is so important, respecting my boundary as well as other people's boundaries, because I feel like as the first daughter, like especially in my household, I was the oldest, and it was kind of like, sorry, like you have to do it even if you don't want to do it. And now with my therapist, I've learned that knowing people's, like I said, boundary and knowing what they don't want to do and what they can do is something that you should always take into account. Dealing with like the paranoia and anxiety at a freaking Chili's was just like the wrong thing to do, but I survived it and I was fine. And so I thankfully was able to slowly start getting better, and I did get better. And I was able to live out my high school years as I was able to live out my high school years as a normal high schooler. That was my junior year. I was able to go on to senior year. Obviously, I had, you know, boyfriends, I had my friends, I had, you know, my party moments, and overall it was a good rest of my high school years. I then went to college and I attended Texas State University. Go Bobcats. Any Bobcats out there? Hi, hello. I first went into my degree doing speech language pathology. And at the time, I really, really, really wanted to go to school for public relations. And I definitely fell into the peer pressure of my parents being like, you're not going to make any money. More so my mom. Hi, mom. I know you remember this. More so my mom being like, you're not going to make any money in this. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to go this route? Why is it something you want to do? Like, just overall, like, really pushing me to try to do something else. And now, as I'm older, I understand as a parent, she obviously wants, like, what's best for me. And so, you know, being a young, impressionable person, I mean, I was like 20 years old when I went to Texas State. I was like, okay, fine. Like, whatever my parents want me to do, like, I'm going to do what they want me to do. I go to Texas State. I go to Texas State, I apply for the program, and it was really competitive. This program was very, very competitive at Texas State, and it just was something that I was, you know, just doing to get by. I really wasn't that passionate about it. Don't get me wrong. I love working with children. I love doing all of that, but it just wasn't something that was calling me. You know, it wasn't something that I saw myself doing for the rest of my life. I knew that I wanted to do PR. I'm a very social person. I like to talk to people. I'm very outgoing. I like to, you know, have friends. I like to do all these things. And so I just knew that route just really wasn't for me. And I ended up getting a B on one of my classes. And since it's very, very competitive, I didn't end up making it into the program that semester. Anxiety was so bad at that point of me not getting in, me feeling like a failure, me not feeling like I'm good enough. And so I decided to take a semester off. I told my parents that I know this wasn't in the books. I know that this wasn't something that they wanted me to do, But I really needed time to just get my head together and reevaluate what I wanted to do. This then led me to another depressive episode, unfortunately. Ooh, guys, I did that a little too much. Ooh.
And I, oh,
So that led me into another depressive episode of me kind of having a mini life crisis of, oh my God, what am I doing? Is this something that I want to do forever? Is college just not for me? What do I do? I started looking into cosmetology school because honestly, doing makeup has always been something that I've also been very passionate about. I've always loved like doing my eyeshadow. And of course, I grew up in the era where putting on a full beat was the thing to do, babe. So like I always had my eyeshadow on, I had a beat, I had my foundation, I had my blush, I had my highlighter. Like I was, oh, Papa. Cash wants me to play fetch with him, and I'm like, girl, mommy's trying to tell her life story. You were already in mommy's life when all this stuff was going on. So I was trying to figure it out. I started working retail. I started working at this place called Plato's Closet. Shout out Plato's Closet in San Marcos. Shout out to everyone that I used to work with. Guys, that store was crazy. These people were crazy. Makes sense because we were young college students, but I had so much fun working with everyone. I really loved working. I was working like 9 to 5, and I was like, oh my God, like this is perfect. Working 9 to 5. No, I was working 10 to 5. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, I can't wait till I get older. I loved it. I had a college boyfriend at the time, and honestly, looking back at it, I feel so bad for him because I did, I feel like give him a lot of that anxiety, for me. Y'all good? So bad because I really did like give him that anxiety in the sense of like having to worry about me, and sometimes I would be having like a mentee be, how the kids say now, and I would be like, please come home, I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do. Like I would just really, really be scared for no reason. Like I don't know why. It was just, once again, anxiety is anxiety. And I would just be freaking out. And he would come home from work and I felt so bad because I would just be, crying and just like I didn't know what to do, and like it was a lot. And so even though we are not together, shout out to him because he really, really, really had to endure when my anxiety attacks were just beyond anything that I can even handle. So shout out to him, honestly. But back to what I was telling you guys about. I did have this boyfriend, and unfortunately things were kind of going through it. And when I say going through it, is there was a lot of issues with him finishing school, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I was able to get over the anxiety, thankfully, and I was then able to graduate college. I was fine. COVID happened. I kind of felt the anxiety, but not as bad as lately. And so I obviously then met that's right. I didn't even tell you guys like the update there, but I did break up with this boyfriend and was single for a little bit. And then that's when I was on the dating apps. And girls, honestly, I was not looking. Mom, click off. I was not looking for anything serious. I was just looking for, when you break up with someone, you're like, I'm gonna go on here, like, I'm gonna see, like, who's here, like, who I want to hang out with, and, yeah. Y'all know what I mean. It's that, like, post-breakup glow when you're like, hey, I'm single, hey, and you just want to, flirt and meet guys and whatever, nothing serious. Get on the apps, I was swiping on some questionable men and whatever, didn't think much of it. A couple months into it, I swipe on this guy who is now, like, how crazy is that? Like, this man is my fiance. And so I swipe on him, we meet up, we date for about 2.5 months. He asked me to be his girlfriend. Of course I said yes, and we've been together ever since. It's already been 5 years since we've been together. Literally in 2 weeks, we have 5 years. And we've been engaged for almost a year, and here we are. As far as my dating life goes, I've always just, had my partners help me with my anxiety, and Kyle has helped me so much. He's been there through so much. He's always been one of, I don't want to cry, but he has always been such a big advocate for me to get help. And when I told him that I did need to get another, third party help, he was so supportive and was like, yeah, you need to do whatever you need to do, and I want you to feel better, so let's do it. You do it. During this past year, this is something that I've never talked about, and it's already coming up on, 5 months. Well, it's been 5 months, coming up on 6 months. It's crazy how a year has flown by, like half a year in June. Like, we're in May, guys. May. I did have a pretty big friendship breakup, and it really, 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 really affected me. And like I said, I've never spoken about this, but I feel like since it's already been like a little bit, I feel comfortable talking about it. And like I said, it's something that I'm working through with therapy, at therapy with my therapist. And so I feel comfortable talking about it. But yes, it was a big life event. Obviously, it is her story. It is not my story to tell. So I'm going to leave that detail out. But she did have something very, very serious happen to her. And it was a lot on our friend group. This is right after I had gotten engaged when I found out this news, and it was a lot. And I didn't really know how to react. I thought that this was going to be one of the happiest times of my life. And finding out what was happening with her, it just really, really affected me and just let me know that, wow, this can happen to literally anyone. And so went through that pretty much from August until when I started seeing my therapist in October and kind of discussing the relationship. And she was, guiding me on how to approach it. And, obviously I told them my relationship with these people and all the baggage that came with it. And, she decided that the best thing was for me to start establishing boundaries. And it couldn't have came at a worse time, especially when this person was going through a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I had to remind myself that I have to respect myself first. And then whatever I, put into others, like that's just, what I put into others, but I have to put into me first. And for a long time, I feel like I was always putting into them and not into me. And so going to therapy, like really, 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 oh my gosh, I keep saying really, really, but it really helped me out and helping me navigate that and figure that out. So yeah, I officially ended the friendship with these people earlier this year. And it was what was best for me. Like I said, no tea, no shade. It was what was best for me and probably what was best for them. I knew that I was not, being a good friend to them sometimes, and they weren't being good friends to me sometimes. And I just feel like it was just best to let that relationship go. And keep in mind, I was friends with these people for years. I've known these people since I was in high school. I've known these people since I was 17. I sometimes get lost into believing that the people that they were at one point is not the same person that they are now. And same as me, I am not the same person that I was when I was 17, 18. I am not the same person that I was when I was 21, 22. Like, I am a completely different person. And I feel like I was always just so attached to that version of them. And in a way, they were attached to that version of me. And I was just starting to grow up, and they were too. And it just, I just realized that we just didn't really have much in common. We were drifting apart. But I feel like the fact that we were friends for so long is what kept me there and kept me being like, no, like I have to push this. They have to be my friend. Like, what do you mean they're not going to be my friend? Like, we've known each other for years. And so I unfortunately realized that our friendship did not evolve as we evolved. And, that's fine. Like, sometimes you're not meant to be friends with people from high school because you guys change. And that was just one of these situations. That was a lot for me to say. Like I said, I had never spoken to anyone about it. Only very close people know, and obviously family knows. And so, yeah, I am not friends with these people, and I haven't been for about 5 months, going into 6 months. And honestly, I feel like it was just what was best for me. And it really has affected me. You know, I have been trying to, sorry guys, I'm looking for my bronzer and I can't find her. So it's right here. Okay, found the bronzer. Like I was saying, I feel like I have been wanting to find that group of girls again in my life, and I have just realized that those things, you know, do take time to build, to establish, to have. And luckily, I have found my book club girls, which we all get along really, really well. And I'm so thankful that, you know, I was able to meet one of them, honestly, through Bumble BFF. And that's what led me to, you know, me finding friends again and have being a part of a circle again. And so that's something that I'm navigating because, like I said, everyone has their boundaries, everyone has this, and I just feel like I'm looking for the ultimate bestie. I do have my besties, but unfortunately these people do not live where I live, and so it's very hard. And like I said, I've been trying to look for the ultimate bestie here by me, near me, and it's been hard. And so I'm still on Hinge. I'm trying to figure it out, trying to see friend wise what is, you know, what I want. And it's been a process. And honestly, I love how I went off tangent. I was gonna tell you guys about my depression, anxiety, and I kind of got into this tangent of friends. But I feel like it's very important because that's also something that's been kind of affecting me is, you know, not feeling like I have like an ultimate best friend like here where I'm at in San Antonio. And it's been like, you know, really weighing on me because I want someone that like wants to hang out. I want someone who like wants to go out and do stuff, someone who wants to, oh my gosh, you guys have a little here, sorry. I want someone who wants to go out. I want someone who, you know, we're still so young. We don't have any children. And I feel like these are the times where we should be like going out. And I'm not saying like just drinking or anything. I'm just saying experiencing life, going to museums, going to the library, going to something and just hanging out, just being together, watching music videos on the couch. And I feel like I still haven't found that. And that's what I'm looking for. And like I said, it's something that I know it's going to take time, but I'm hopeful that one day I will be able to find the ultimate bestie. So that's what I'm going through there with friends, which has kind of been like a roller coaster kind of thing. With my job, I have been feeling, I like big gulps. Hold on, I need water because this one's going to be a little bit too. I have been feeling very lost in my job. I have been feeling very overwhelmed. I have came to the conclusion that this job is not for me and I just want to do something different. I've been at my job for about 3 years in October, so I've been there for like 2.5 years, and I've just realized that this is not for me. This is not for me, and I'm trying to do something different and do just what I want to do. And it is so hard to figure that out because I thought this was going to be kind of my end all be all in my career and just be here, you know, forever. And it did not pan out that way. And I really want out. I really want out. And, you know, I have been looking and I just haven't been able to find the right position for me. And that is another thing of depression. And where, you know, financially I do need to, you know, support my household and support, you know, what Kyle and I have built. And I can't just like drop my job and not, you know, have a plan to go with it. But honestly, at the rate of how sad I am at my job and how much it's affected me, I kind of have thought of just doing that and just figuring it out, working at Target, doing Uber Eats. Like, I am no one to put those jobs past me. I have came from a very, you know, hardworking family where as long as you're trying to do something and you're trying to, you know, be better and make your, you know, support your family, like that's all that matters. And so I haven't put it past me to, you know, want to do that and figure it out. And that leads me to, oh, I hate that it gets like, oh, that's a trick. I forget this trick that if you have a bunch of powder, you just like put it like on your palm and just kind of let it dilute itself. Because yeah, you can even tell the difference with all this powder that I totally just caked on there. Like I was saying, guys, I am from a hardworking family. Any job is a job. And I feel like, you know, I have to do something else because it's just really weighing on my mental health. And I'm here to tell you that no job is worth you feeling depressed about or anxious about. I can tell you how many times I've woken up and been like, what does today have in store? What does today have in store? What is going to be thrown at me? What is going to, just anything, just like all the what ifs. And that is literally how my anxiety works. And I am just done. I am so done with having to work that way, to have my brain programmed that way. And I am just not going to do that. So that leads me to my new endeavor. Lip liner. I'm sure you guys have seen it all over TikTok. It's the lip liner stain in the color. Oh wait, I should mention the brand first. It's Sacho. Girl, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Honestly, don't mind my nails, girls. I haven't done them, so yeah. But this is how it looks like, and this is in the color P Inked. So I heard that you should usually have your lips moisturized, which I did. You guys saw. And ew, it's all clumpy, but what else? I am just going to align. Should I put it all over? I don't know. I honestly, my impulsive thoughts are kicking in and I might just put it everywhere. I kind of just want to put it, you know what? Who cares? Impulsive thoughts took over. Loved a dark lit in the summer. In the fall. Anyways, okay, back to what we were talking about. Leads me to my now endeavor. So I am really trying to focus on my content creation. I am really trying to make content and collab with brands. And honestly, I just had my first collaboration with Kombucha, and I'm so excited. I was able to get this opportunity because I had a local content creation group called the San Antonio Hummingbirds reach out to me, and I applied to the program and I actually got in. So I work with brands and make content for them, and honestly, this is what I want to do. This is where my creativity and my social media experience come together, and this is something that I want to do full time. And I am just really trying to put myself out there and get my portfolio and show other brands that I'm worth their time and worth showcasing their product. And I feel like in a place where there's so much competition in the, you know, digital space with influencers and so forth, I have to remind myself that we are all different, and I need to show them why I am, you know, the best pick for, you know, having them send their product to or have them like collaborate with. And so I just am really excited for what the future holds in my content creation career. And honestly, being a Latina in this space, I have noticed that it really is something that is usually not what you see, or not even just a Latina, but a plus size Latina in this space. And I am just so excited to see where it takes me and be, you know, empowering my community. And I am just excited. I just feel like I was in such a negative place. And to be real honest with you guys, I feel like I still am trying to overcome that, and I'm still trying to be in a better headspace. And, you know, I do have help. I do have, I hate that it's like coming to, I'm trying to be in a better headspace, and it is something that I am still working on. And that I have, you know, my therapist, and I have, you know, my family, and I have friends that help me. And it's just something that I have to go through. And I know, sorry, I was like focusing on this eyes, but I know that what is meant for me is meant for me. And that's just a mentality that I'm going into this with. And so I'm so excited to see what, you know, what comes of it. And I'm just gonna keep working hard, girls. Like, I am treating this like a second job while I still have my corporate job, and just trying to, you know, really focus in on it and just do it for me, since I feel like for a long time I was conforming and doing so many things for others. And I'm like, wait, I do all these things for other people. Why can't I put that energy back into myself? And that was kind of that aha moment that I feel like you get as you get older. And don't get me wrong, I am not this wise girl. I literally have just been having these thoughts as I am getting to my 30s and looking back at my 20s and thinking like, what could I have done better? What did I do? What could I have done better? Obviously, I know that I can't change the past, but just how can I fix that situation, that if it would happen to me again, how would I approach it? How would I do it differently? And I feel like as you get older, you start to see those things like more in plain sight, and it's kind of obvious, like, dang, maybe I should not have said that, or maybe I should not have reacted that way, or maybe I should have done this. Like, and you can only do so much what ifs, but then I feel like that helps you when you have that scenario again and you're like, actually, I did think this through. I reacted this way. I didn't like the outcome. I didn't like what happened. Let me react a different way. Let me react a better way. So that's kind of been what I've been up to the past 2 months. I've been depressed. I've been anxious. I've been, you know, really just beating myself up, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I have to remind myself that we've all only been this age right now. We have never already lived like another life and we're like, oh, this is how I would live it different. No, this is the first time that we're experiencing things, and I have to give myself grace. And essentially, I hope you guys do the same for yourself. Now, since we're wrapping this up, I want to show you guys what I've been using. I'm using the Patrick Ta She's a Doll. It's a little messy, so please don't judge, but this is how it looks. And I'm going to use this just to lightly go over my little chickies. My little chickies. And I just like to go over her like that, and then hey, clean rip, except my edges right here. A perfect little she's away kind of vibe. So that's why I love it. But yes, I go in with me blush, and then I go in with my powder brush that I use like for my all over powder, and it just kind of gives you that little lighter vibe. And voila, we are done, girls. We are done. I also have this new Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly. I've actually never tried Tower 28. So this is the color Pistachio, and I saw it at Ulta. I saw it at Sephora, and so I had to try it. Okay, cute. Let's try her on. Obviously, okay, obviously I do have the lip. Wait, this is actually really nice. I love it. She's cute. Okay, we're gonna use this. I love it. And that is all I bought at Sephora that is new. Honestly, guys, the foundation looks pretty good. It's literally what I want. I think I had told you guys that I was going to mix it with my full coverage foundation and just let it, you know, let it mix with that if I want something a little more medium coverage and not so full coverage, because right now it's kind of giving, I would say it's kind of giving light coverage just from like what I'm looking at in the mirror, but I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10, honestly. So like I said, I did get this Safe Foundation Glowy Shimmer Skin Foundation in the color 8. And then I picked up the Glowy Super Gel Warm Glow right here. It says made in Italy. Is that true? Italy! Okay, I'm gonna like put this on my hand so that we can kind of see the glow. Because maybe I just don't see the glow. Actually, I'm lying. I do see the glow. Ooh, okay, she's watery. She's watery. But she's giving glow. She's giving the moment. Air out. I need a brum, brum, brum. I need a fan. Well, girls, that is all. Thank you so much for getting ready with me and letting my YouTube really be a space where I can share with you what is happening in my life. And I just appreciate all you guys for sticking around. If you made it to the end, this is the look, and I am starting a vlog right now, so I will see you over there. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!